Johannesburg, May 2025, WorldWire News. The Marabi Jazz Club, one of Johannesburg's most iconic cultural institutions, has shut its doors permanently, bringing to a close an era that celebrated South Africa's rich musical soul and artistic resilience. Located within the historic Hallmark House Hotel in the Maboneng precinct, the club was more than just a venue for live music. It was a living tribute to the Marabi sound, a genre born out of urban struggle, rooted in resistance and drenched in South African identity. But now, its grand piano is silent, its dim-lit stage abandoned, and its velvet-curtained windows shuttered. The closure, reportedly due to urban decline and rising safety concerns, is more than just the loss of a night spot. It is a symbolic alarm bell ringing through the corridors of government, heritage bodies, and civil society. It poses a critical question: can South Africa protect its cultural institutions from the rot of neglect, crime, and poor urban management? Trumpet emoji. The legacy of Marabi. The Marabi Jazz Club was established in 2017 and quickly became a melting pot of jazz lovers, artists, historians, and tourists. It paid homage to the Marabi genre, an early 20th century musical style born in the townships of Johannesburg. Much like American jazz and blues, Marabi was the music of resistance, a vibrant soundtrack to lives lived on the margins during apartheid. The club's walls echoed with sounds once banned, forgotten, and nearly erased. Hosting both veteran performers and up-and-coming jazz prodigies, it was a bridge between generations, preserving oral histories and encouraging new ones. From the saxophone's wail to the husky poetry of local vocalists, Marabi served as both sanctuary and stage. Its ambience, hidden behind nondescript doors, lit by candles and reverence, reminded visitors that art could thrive in the most unexpected places. Police light emoji. Urban decline strikes a cultural nerve. The reasons for Marabi's closure are both practical and deeply systemic. Rising crime rates, failing infrastructure, and a lack of municipal responsiveness have turned parts of Johannesburg's city center into zones of economic uncertainty and safety risks. While artists continued to play, patrons began to disappear. Reports of robberies, power failures, and deteriorating roads turned what was once a bustling precinct into a cautionary tale. The Maboneng precinct, once hailed as a shining example of urban regeneration, now faces the very decline it was designed to reverse. In a heartbreaking statement, the club's management cited escalating safety concerns and insufficient city support as key reasons behind the decision to close. Compass emoji. Implications for future generations. The closure of Marabi sends a chilling message to the next generation of South African artists and cultural workers: your heritage is not immune to erosion. With schools struggling to keep music programs alive and community centers underfunded, cultural spaces like Marabi played a pivotal role in nurturing identity, confidence, and expression among young people. Its loss means fewer stages for artists to be discovered, fewer stories to be told, and fewer safe spaces where creativity is celebrated rather than censored. Worse still, it risks feeding a dangerous narrative that art, culture, and heritage are luxuries in a country with more pressing issues. But this is a false economy. A society that loses its memory, its music, its dance and rhythm, loses its soul. What the government must do is not just a municipal failure, it is a national crisis of cultural preservation. If institutions like the Marabi Jazz Club are allowed to disappear, the ripple effect will be felt across tourism, education, creative industries, and national morale. Here's what must be done. 1. Cultural protection policies. The government must enact legally binding protections for cultural venues, designating them as heritage zones with crime mitigation plans, tax relief, and operational support. 2. Urban safety investment. Revitalization projects in Maboneng and similar precincts need dedicated law enforcement partnerships, improved lighting, reliable power, and emergency response systems to make these spaces viable again. 3. Public-private partnerships, collaboration with private developers, NGOs, and art councils can ensure that venues like Marabi are not isolated. Public-private partnerships can deliver sustainable models that keep the music playing. 4. Youth-focused funding fund music education and youth programs that foster performance arts tied to South Africa's cultural history, making clubs like Marabi feeder grounds for talent. A cultural moment of silence, the silence left behind by the Marabi Jazz Club is deafening. It represents not only the absence of sound, but the absence of will, leadership, and foresight. But it is not too late. If government leaders, city planners, and citizens act quickly, Marabi's closure can be a turning point, not a death knell. As the jazz melodies fade into memory, the hope is that something deeper will rise, a renewed commitment to preserving culture, protecting heritage, and supporting the artists who carry South Africa's stories in their breath and fingertips. By WorldWire News Arts and Society Desk for the rhythms that built a nation. For the stories we must never silence.